All right, good evening, welcome. It is the Board of Directors meeting for the Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District for September 25th. Can we get the roll, please?
Yes. Director Gould.
Present.
Director Stark.
Here.
Director Weber.
Here.
Director Wood.
Here.
Director Costa.
Here.
Director Clark. Here. Director Rice.
Here.
Director Jones.
Here.
Thank you. Director Sailors, is absent this evening, and she let us know that beforehand. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Gould, can I get you to lead us in the pledge, please?
My pleasure. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Director. All right, Metro Cable announcement. This meeting is being recorded. It will be replayed on 6 o'clock on Monday, September 29th, and again at 1 o'clock on Wednesday, October 1st on Metro Cable Channel 14. It'll also be viewable on demand at youtube.com, Metro Cable 14. Right now is the opportunity for public to comment on matters on or not on the agenda. Do we have any speakers?
Yes, I have one speaker card from Roger Mitchell. And for those online, if you'd like to make a public comment, if you can use the raise your hand feature, and you'll be called upon after our first public comment. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mitchell.
Good afternoon, Board Chair, Directors, Chief, Staff, and Public. My name is Roger Mitchell. I'm here tonight for two reasons. Most of you know that in Rio Linda a couple of weeks ago, we had a celebration where we placed a 100-year plaque on Old Betsy. And I'm here tonight to thank the Public Relations Officer. He did one fantastic job of putting that together. And I think it's important that the board and the chief and staff know how well Mark did, and it was well attended. So, Mark, thank you very much.
The team did a great job.
Second note, just here tonight to tell you this is the last evening I can tell you about our fundraising dinner, which will be next Saturday, the 4th of October, 5 o'clock. We will have just a few tickets at the door, but very few. They might even be gone by then. But on a very personal note, Director Rice, thank you very, very much. Any questions?
Do we have any comments or questions for Mr. Mitchell? Thank you. I
Thank
do
you.
appreciate you calling out and recognizing Mark Nunez. He's a long line of excellent people we've had in that role, and he's continuing it well. So, but thanks for recognizing his work.
Well, the director, many people in the community came up and wanted to thank the department as a whole for that open house to celebrate that with Old Betsy, but knowing behind the scenes who put it all together, Mark did a fabulous, fabulous job, and I wanted the board and the chief to know that, and a special thanks from my heart. So, thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any speakers online?
We have no other speakers this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to action items. Purchase approval of 2 squad units. Good evening, Shay Purcell.
Sorry, first we have to do consent. Sorry.
Oh,
And Mr. President, I move consent item.
I've got a motion and a second on the consent. Can we get the roll, please?
Yes. Director Gould.
Aye.
Director Stark.
Aye.
Director Clark. Aye. Director Rice.
Aye.
Director Jones.
Aye.
Director Weber. Director Costa.
Aye.
President Wood.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. The consent calendar is adopted.
Thank you very much. Pardon?
Are you medicated again?
No, I'm not medicated. I'm just on a roll. Good evening, Mr. Purcell. Welcome.
It's hard to follow that, Bob. President, directors, Chief of House. Tonight I'm here to ask for permission to move forward the purchase of 2 squad units to support our existing operation and future service delivery improvements. These vehicles have an approximate 18-month build time and will mirror the 4 sister units we have in service now. And staff recommends the board approves this purchase, and I will answer any questions that you may have for said purchase.
Do we have any comments or questions for Mr. Purcell?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion we approve the purchase.
Second.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Can we get the roll, please?
Yes. Director Gould.
Aye.
Director Stark. Director Clark. Director Rice. Director Jones.
Aye.
Director Weber. Director Costa.
Aye.
President Wood.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to reports. I have nothing in the president's report. Fire chief's report.
Yes, good evening, directors, colleagues, member of the public. Before I give my report this evening, I want to acknowledge the profound loss our district has experienced with the sudden loss and passing of engineer Mark Rogers. Mark was found at his home last Thursday, and his passing has deeply affected our Metro Fire family. Metro Fire is working closely with Local 522, the Honor Guard, the chaplain, and most importantly, Mark's wife, his parents, to ensure he is honored appropriately. We have established a level 2 service for Mark, and Captain Matt Ostin is serving as the family liaison. And I can tell you he's doing an outstanding job and will continue to do that, and we will provide support to him. As we all know, that is a very difficult job. Earlier today, Engineer Rogers was transferred with dignity from the examiner's office to the mortuary in Nevada, planning for his final honors in the early stages, and additional details will be shared as they are finalized. Flags will be flown at half-staff across all Metro Fire facilities. Badge shrouds have been authorized for wear, and peer support resources remain available to all of our members. Group defusing sessions are being arranged. The first one took place today. This is a very difficult time for our organization, as you know. I want to thank everyone for the way you are supporting one another and keeping Mark's family in your thoughts. I would ask President Wood to lead us in a moment of silence to honor Engineer Rogers before the board moves into closed session.
We will do that.
Thank you, sir. On Saturday, September 20th, Local 522 and some of the executive team went back to the IFF Fallen Firefighters Memorial in Colorado Springs. Firefighter Anthony Benalicia was honored with his name added to the memorial wall this year. Some upcoming events: California Firefighters Memorial Ceremony, Saturday, October 4th, at the Safe Credit Union Convention Center, Ballroom A, starting at 3 p.m. I hope everybody can make that. The procession to the memorial site will follow at 5 p.m. Firefighter Anthony Benalicia and Captain Randy Gross will be honored, and their names will be added to the memorial wall. Hard couple weeks for the organization. I don't know how to transition into some good news, but we probably need some good news. Ironically, today, at tonight's board meeting, marks 25 years of service for Class 002. I was involved with that class, and if you look out in the audience, a lot of those classmates are in the audience. I think typically, the board president would present my 25 years of service pin tonight, but I've asked because it's totally appropriate that our board is unique in that one of our original drill instructors is on our board. And it's with great honor, and I ask for permission to have both our president of the board and Director Brian Rice, our drill instructor, to present the members of Class 002 their 25 years of service pin. I'd like to call up Battalion Chief Brian Barthel, Battalion Chief Jason Vestal, Captain Mark Stern, Engineer John Kendrick, Engineer Mike Lowry, Engineer Tom Chen up front. I'd like to acknowledge, before we give out the 25 years of service pin, Engineer Dan Zumwalt, who is not in attendance tonight, Assistant Chief Chris Green, who is not in attendance tonight, Battalion Chief Matt Cole, who is also not in attendance tonight, and Captain Chris Kellogg, who is unfortunately not in attendance tonight. It's with great pride that I look amongst classmates from 002 and the success of not only promoting or looking at additional ways to be involved in the organization, but my fellow brothers standing here tonight, you've made a mark for the better. It saved lives and protected the community that we swore to protect. So I'd like to turn it over to President Wood.
Thank you so much, Chief. I'm going to let Director Rice give some comments. He's had the longest exposure to you guys, each of you, and I'm sure he's got a lot of good stories to share with us. So I will let him make the comments, and I'll walk over and hand you your pins.
And Chief House, thank you. When he brought the anniversary date to my attention, I knew it was coming, but I didn't really realize it was tonight. And I look back to 25 years ago and that academy class. I think that class and you as recruits set the tone for the hiring standard and for the expectation that was going to come of all Metro Fire recruits. And even for myself, I've always felt each and every one of you were the standard. And part of me was wanting to meet your standard, because we did not give any of you any quarter in anything. And every single time, that entire class, except for the ones that released, met the bar. And as a first hiring class for Metro Fire, I've always been very proud to be associated with 002. And it just gives me a lot of pleasure to hand over the pins to President Wood and just be a small part of that. Job well done. Say it again. Okay, got it. I get hard of hearing now that I'm old, too. And none of you can say a damn word about this. I got my Senior Advantage Kaiser card today.
You made it.
So recruit Jason Vestal was one of the most intense recruits that we had. And he's never let the gas off from that. Engineer Lowry was my first worthwhile ass chewing as a drill instructor, and he responded well. You've done well, Mike. Tom Chen, I had the privilege to sit on Tom's hiring board, and I knew right away that he would be a Metro firefighter. And I sat with Don Meddy, myself, Dave Sinclair, and Mike Johnson, and I wrote, I don't even know what I wrote, the brown cow jumps over the moon or something. And one of the things that Tom said was he's bilingual and speaks, was it Mandarin or Taiwanese, Tom? Both. And so I asked him to translate it. And I asked him to translate it, which he did. And then when he left, every one of those guys go, "Why did you do that? What were you going to do if he said something?" He's not going to say anything, and as far as he knows, I speak Mandarin and Taiwanese, so it's all good. So that was a special one. Tom gave us a scare in the academy too, a little one. He doesn't even remember. Scared me. John Kendrick, probably one of the classiest guys I've ever met, both in the academy and through his profession. John, just for me, exudes professionalism and compassion, and I just always appreciated him, his presence, and his bearing in all things. Good job, John. Mark Mark Stern, what do I say about Stern? Hasn't already been said. Mark was the emotional one in the class. In fact, I think if we can get the camera to zoom in, he might be crying right now. Hold it back, hold it back. Mark is a dear friend. I've got to know him a little bit more in retirement, and just am better for it. And you're right in there. Thank you, buddy. Brian Barthel, another one of those intense guys that was an athlete, was like a Labrador, always wanted to have everything done right, always wanted to make sure that, I don't want to say pleased because that seems kind of trite and not true, but Brian just had, he just strove to be the best that he could be at all times. And again, just a classy and a decent human being. I've always appreciated you and the job you've done.
We got one more to do, that's Chief House. I was asked, or was advised that this was something I was gonna have to speak on, and so I sat down and started thinking about what I wanted to say. And then yesterday I got told that Director Rice wanted to be a part of it, or would be a part of it. And I was thrilled because now I got my color commentator. So all the pressure's off me, and I know you'll do a good job. I'm gonna just give a few background facts. I know most of you know about Chief House, but I just wanna remind you where he's come from and how he's got here. He's one of Rancho Cordova's native sons, graduated Cordova High. When he was done, he went into the U.S. Army, served 4 years there as a firefighter. He spent the 90s as a firefighter in Yuma, Arizona, worked his way up to captain there. Came to Metro in 2000, graduated with class 002, and worked with us as a recruit firefighter, as a firefighter from January 13, 2001. He was promoted to captain on May 1st, 2008. He was promoted to battalion chief on September 22nd, 2016. Promoted to assistant chief on February 1, 2019. And there he oversaw the training, health, and safety division. Prior to becoming chief, he did do a number of things with our district. From 2007 to 2014, Chief House played a pivotal role in firefighter recruitment in the Firefighter Academy, where he also served as a drill master. From 2001 to 2018, he was a member of the FEMA Urban Search and Rescue Task Force 7. He's also a member of the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services Task Force 9. And from the inception of the team until 2020, Chief House was a member of the Type 3 Sacramento Regional Incident Management Team, deploying numerous times to various devastating incidents throughout the state. The board interviewed him and selected him to be our chief on August 10, 2023. He was sworn in, and he's held that distinction since then. So, Chief, thank you so much for all you've done for us. I'm going to let Director Rice say a few things while I bring this over to you.
Chief, Adam, it's been a pleasure, and I didn't really realize the connection we had through Darren Taylor and just other associates in Rancho Cordova, and your father being with the Sacramento County Sheriffs. And I've been through quite a bit with you over the years. I've always appreciated your calm, cool, collected approach, and I will say this, when I was the Deputy Chief of Operations, I made my bones on the back of Assistant Chief John Wagner and Captain Adam House, and it sat with the men and women have to be well-trained, motivated, and prepared to do their job every single day. And that, for me as a deputy, all the rest of it was what it was. Some of it was bullshit. It is what it is. But if your training division and the people that are running it turn out motivated and well-trained people that are ready to answer the call, everything else is going to roll downhill. And you and John Wagner did that like no one else could, and I've always appreciated that. And last but not least, I could not be here and not recognize my wingman, Captain retired Andy Whaley. Andy was also part of 002. He and I have had a bromance for 25 years, and doesn't bother me to say that. I'd go anywhere with any one of these guys at any time. I'm just proud to have been associated with this group of Metro firefighters and back in the day fire recruits. Job well done.
We'll take a minute, and the families, if you guys want to come up and get photos with your loved ones, come on up.
Hey, can I get a picture with you guys? Absolutely. You too. Get up here. It may not happen again with the senior advantage stuff.
Anyone else want to come up and get pictures with their loved ones? You're welcome to do it. Okay. Oh, come on. Yeah, we got one.
Take one.
Come on, stay put.
Take one, Andy. One more photo.
We got one more, guys. We got one.
Your family wants to go. You want to do us or just me or? Take another picture. Guys, there's more pictures. Let Tom do it. I'll come over here.
Looks good. Am I wrong?
Hang on, don't go anywhere.
Mark's at you.
And President Wood, that ends my report, unless you have any questions for me.
I just want to say thank you, Chief. Director Rice, thank you so much for stepping up and helping out with that. Thanks for bringing this to our attention this way. You know, one of my favorite things about being up here is recognizing our men and women, and this is awesome to recognize the service that these men and women have given to our community. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments for the chief?
This doesn't look good. Wow. Do not approach the bench. He's sitting there. Where'd everybody go?
All right, we have no operations, administrative, or support services reports tonight. We'll move on to Local 522. I have Captain Scholar down, but you are not Captain Scholar.
Captain Scholar went up to Nevada today for the transfer. So, good evening. My name is Scott Owen, Deputy Director of 522. It's gonna be a very short report for me. Thank you, Chief House, for taking or talking about part of it, Colorado Springs. Other than that, as you all well know, we started negotiations in between Local 522 and the district. Had 2 meetings already as of yesterday and plenty more scheduled for the future. On behalf of local, just want to say, look forward to working with the great group of individuals that you've assembled. And that's about it. Other than that, thank you, Chief, again, for making my night short. Any questions?
Any questions or comments? No? Thank you so much, appreciate it. Committee and delegate reports. The executive committee has no report out tonight. The Comm Center JPA has no report out. Finance and Audit Committee, it's you, Director Jones.
Yes. Finance and Audit Committee, our next meeting is scheduled for October 23rd, 5:30 in these chambers. Come one, come all.
Thank you. Policy Committee, Director Costa.
Thank you. No report. Our next meeting is held on October 9th.
Moving on to board member questions and comments. I'll start on my right with Director Gould.
Congratulations to all of those old people that received pins this evening. It's fantastic that you're at that point in your career. Job well done, as Director Rice has mentioned. Thank you.
Director Jones?
Ditto to Professor Dr. Gould's comments. And again, yeah, congratulations. 25 is a nice number, nice, strong number. Just one quick comment is I was able to attend the public safety meeting a week or two ago with Kyle McDonald, representing Metro Fire. And we worked the room, shook hands, and continued to make friendships. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director. Director Stark?
I just want to say congratulations to all of you.
Director Clark?
Congratulations to all the honorees.
Director Rice?
One thing real quick, one of my staff member, Melissa McDonald, should be and has been in touch with Marnie about the California Firefighters Memorial on October 4th at 3 p.m. I'm inviting each of my colleagues on the board. Please RSVP to Marnie, and I will make sure that you have a place. Director Weber, you're already covered, as is Dr. Rossiter.
Thank you so much, Director. Director Weber?
Just to address Roger, some of us may be late to your function because of the memorial. Just heads up for you. But other than that, I have no comments.
And Director Costa?
No comments. Thank you.
All right. Two things. This weekend, September 28th on Sunday, Firefighters Burn Institute Heroes Hops and Hot Rods is going on at Bertolucci's. Were you able to get your car in this year? I was not. Well, hopefully we'll see you next year then. But if you can make it out there, great. I say it all the time, but there isn't a better organization to support here in Sacramento than the Burn Institute. Metro is also partnering with a number of our people, UC Davis, the Burn Institute, Kiwanis, City of Rancho Cordova, State Farm, and Red Cross. And we're going to have a fall-winter fire and life safety seminar coming up on October 11th, Saturday from 10 to 12 at the Cordova Baptist Preschool at Coloma Road. And so hopefully we'll see as many as we can out there. It's going to be a good event. Appreciate all of the work that's gone into this to put this together, but it will be a wonderful event. And with that, and the request for a moment for Engineer Mark Rogers, we will adjourn into closed session after that moment. Thank you. We'll go into closed session now.
Recording stopped.